Well, obviously that cannot be a reference to Messiah, since the New Testament position is obviously that he's sinless. He doesn't get punished for his sins. If you look at the parallel in 1 Chronicles 17, we have the same story there of the promise, the Davidic promise made through Nathan to David. You'll find that that particular passage is left out. So I take it there's a double reference here. Solomon certainly needed to be punished, and other descendants of David needed to be punished when they sinned. That's quite clear. Jesus did not. However, the idea of the promise still stands in 2 Samuel 7, 1 Chronicles 17. However, the sinning aspect is removed in the later account, probably deliberately. When referring to the Messiah, who is sinless, that part doesn't count. But then prophecies often have double references. The one in Isaiah 7:14, incidentally, obviously applied to a local situation there. There was a young lady, a virgin, a young lady. It doesn't matter. We don't have to quibble over that. There was a young lady who, in some miraculous way, unexpected way, was a sign to people of Ahaz's time. Matthew picks up on that, and very properly, knowing that God works in patterns, said, let me show you what that really meant. Yes, there was a local fulfillment in the time of Ahaz. It wasn't a virginal begetting as it is in the story of Matthew, but Matthew sees a parallel. Sarah also had children miraculously, not by virgin birth, we know that. But one is like the other, and therefore one may be called a prophecy of the other. When we get then to Jesus, we find him virginally begotten. The story is extremely easy. It's a very great tragedy when people stumble at the very easy birth narratives of Matthew and Luke. Matthew 1:20, you should translate it properly, that which is begotten in her. The word is begotten there, not conceived. Yes, it was a conception, but it's the action of the Father, the all-important clue to the birth certificate of Jesus, which is what all the fuss in Christology is. But when did the Son begin? Well, there in Matthew 1:20, you have an exact reference to the origin of the Son. Incidentally, 1:18 of Matthew, Genesis with one N, in the best manuscripts. The Genesis, the origin of Jesus, obviously the second creation. And in 1:20, what is begotten in her, fathered, procreated, sired, what comes into existence due to the activity of a father by biological miracle here, is from the Holy Spirit. This is extraordinarily easy. Would that we had stayed there and not then began to mess with John, particularly John 1:1, adding capital letters which don't belong there, creating a second God, raising the whole ditheistic problem and later Trinitarian problem. Leave that alone. Put your stakes in firmly in Matthew 1, Luke 1:35 particularly. For this reason precisely, Gabriel said, that's to say, the reason for him being the Son of God, the very precise reason is the miracle, biological miracle, nothing to do with sex, obviously, a biological miracle worked in Mary, who herself was a descendant of David as well.